Hi everyone, welcome to Live Stream Yoga with Louise, tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. For today's yoga class, we are going to be working deep stretches into the groin, pelvic and hamstring area. We are going to be doing quite a lot of loading, doing the whole primary sequence on one side before we repeat it on the other. So if the stretch becomes too intense for you, feel comfortable to come to child pose, pause the stream if you need to before you resume play. We'll kick off with a few rounds of Sun Salutation B, just to warm up the body dynamically. Then we'll start holding the stretches a little bit longer, working into that groin area, and at the same time we'll be giving the upper back, shoulders and the legs some good strengthening and conditioning work at the same time. You ready to play? Let's hit the mat and let's set ourselves up for Sun Salutation B. Let's keep the first round easy, warming up nicely through the legs. So let's all start with the feet stacking underneath the hips. Tuck the tailbone under, pull your belly button in and float your hands to a gentle prayer position. Take a big breath in to prepare, and on the exhale, sit back into an imaginary chair, giving me weight into the bum and the heels as you float the hands gently overhead. Give me a soft forward fold, trying to connect your fingertips to the mat, and take a step back with the right leg coming into a gentle lunge line. Ease into your lunge line gently, swaying the body weight back and forth, and just gently finding that opening through the groin. Then scooch the back leg up slightly and give me a narrow pyramid. Either hands connected to the floor, fingertips connected to the floor, or maybe hanging in a tabletop position. If reaching for the floor is not an option for you, you could always take a block as well and give me a little lean into the floor. Play where you're comfortable. And then ease your way gently into a plank line. Think of finding that hasta bandha, that grip through the fingertips. We played with it over the weekend. And then gently either dropping your knees to the floor or giving me a full Chaturanga, dragging the weight forward over your wrists, coming to rest, either with the toes tucked under or weight on the tops of your feet as you find your up dog. And then ease into your down dog. The legs are really tight. Maybe give me a little pedal out before you settle into your down dog. Then we'll find our way into a warrior two line on the right. Soften the right knee, swing the leg through, stepping to the inside of the right hand, wiggling the foot forward to line up your knee and your ankle, drop your back leg to 90, and windmill the arms into a beautiful soft T-frame as you find a warrior two, sinking down and opening up through the groin. Then tuck your back toe under, pivot the back leg in, drop as low as you can to the floor, setting up a warrior one line. Connect your fingertips to the mat. We're going to chaturanga down using the knees if you need to. Swoop down, set up an up dog, and then transition into a down dog. Pedaling it out if the legs are tight. Then stepping up one leg at a time or increasing your hasta bandha, coming up onto the fingertips as you bend through the knees and give me a little bunny hop forward, landing softly underneath your hips as you transition into your chair line. Lots of weight into the bum and the heels so that those knees don't come over your toe line. Then gently peeling up towards your start position and finding your way into prayer. Take a big breath in, take an exhale and find your seat. Big breath in. On the exhale, fold forward, trying to connect to the mat if you can. If the legs are tight, bend and extend, find your release. Then give me a step back with the left leg and ease into a lunge line. Playing with that body weight, dragging back and forth, finding that opening through the tightness in the groin area. When you're ready, you're going to scooch up the back leg and find your way into a little triangle or pyramid shape. Trying to connect your hands to the mat if you can, or playing in table, or using the block modification, depending on how your body's feeling today. From here, you're going to find your way into a plank line, soften through the knees as much as you need to, and set up your plank. Using knees or no knees, you're going to chaturanga down, flowing into an up dog, and then bleeding seamlessly into a down dog. Pedal it out if you're feeling tight. We're going to set up a warrior two line on the left. Swing the left leg through, check up your knee and your ankle ratio, drop the back leg to 90, windmill those arms open, find your long line and sink nice and low to the floor as you begin opening up through the pelvis. Tuck your back toe under, rotate, wiggle the back foot away and open up even more through the pelvic area. Connect your hands to the mat and ease your way into a plank line. Chaturanga down, use the knees if you need to. Setting yourself up in an up dog. And then easing once more into your down dog. Finding your way to the front of the mat, either hopping or stepping it up. Find your way into your chair. And peel up along the center line. As we come into round two, either keep your foot position stacking underneath the hips or heel toe in, giving me a narrower line on the mat. Take a big breath in and find your chair. Weight into the bum and the heel as you find Utkatasana. Take a big breath in and on the exhale, fold forward into the Uttanasana that's working for you. Bending and extending if you need to, if the legs are still tight. Find your release. When you're ready, give me a step back on the right leg and ease into a lunge line. Playing with the movement, finding the opening you need through the groins. Let's find our way into that narrow pyramid shape by scooching up the back leg. Find your release, hold it for a couple of seconds. And then ease your way gently into the plank line. Chaturanga Dandasana to flow into an up dog. And then ease into a down dog. You're going to swing the right leg forward. Drop your back leg to 90 and windmill into your warrior two shape. Lengthen, try and drop down through the pelvis so that you can feel that opening happening through the groin area. And then ease your way into a modified up dog. Tuck the back toe under. Think of gently framing your ears as you float the hands overhead. Connect both sets of hands to the mat and step back into a plank. Using knees or no knees, flow into your up dog. And then bleed seamlessly into your down dog. Find your way to the front of the mat, giving me a little hop or a step, trying to step the feet together if you were playing with a narrow stance as you find your way back into chin. Peel back up along the center line and take a recovery breath as you find Mountain Tadasana. Big breath in, find your chair. Fold it forward, find your Uttanasana release through the back chain of the legs. And then step the left leg back, finding your way into your lunge line. Open up through the groin, maybe playing with that soft swaying motion. Feel that nice opening through the hip flexor, feel the groin warming up. Scooch into that little pyramid shape. Trying to connect your hands gently to the mat, but playing with that gentle Hasta Bandha that we introduced over the weekend. Ease your way into a plank line. And chaturanga your way, dragging the weight forward over your wrists, easing into an up dog, and then transitioning into your down dog. We're going to set up a warrior two line on the left, swing the leg through, find your position on the mat, drop your back leg to 90, and windmill the body up, opening up and extending through the fingertips as you sink down low through the pelvis. Tuck your back toe under, open up even more through the groin, wiggling that back leg back slightly, finding your way into a plank, and then using knees or no knees as you ease your way down into an up dog, and then transition into your down dog. Stepping up or finding your fingertip grip and hopping forward to connect the big toes and the ankles as you drop the feet to the mat and sit back in your chair. Peel up along the center line, hands to prayer, take a recovery breath or two, and then we're going to start playing with the first primary sequence, which we'll do on the right side of the body. Take a big breath in from your mountain, float the hands behind you, interlace them behind your back, either keeping your grip loose or bringing the two palms together and making a little fist for me, squeezing those two shoulder blades as close together as you can as you fold forward and give me a tip over tuck, trying to drop the crown of your head to the mat, thinking nose to knee and opening up as much as you can through the shoulders. If this is not happening for you, maybe just keeping both hands on the top of your thighs and folding forward into a tabletop line, or using your block and finding a lean-in position. But I want you to feel that stretch into the hamstring area. Play where you're comfortable. Let's hold it for roughly about 5 more seconds, and then we're going to ease our way into a squat line. Depending on how open you're feeling in the groin area, you're either going to give me a deep squat, Sukhasana, or you can play with a midway squat. Gently soften through the knees, peel back up, heel toe out, either finding your way into a small bend, tucking the tailbone under, placing the hands on the inside of the knees and opening up through the groin, or dropping all the way down. Reshuffle your feet, find the squat line that works for you, bring your hands to prayer and kick out with the elbows so that you can feel that beautiful opening through the groin. Settle into your squat line and hold here for a couple of breaths, trying to drop the pelvis as low to the floor as you can and pulling that belly button in towards the center line. We're going to play with a little prep for a half-bound squat. So take your right hand and put it on the inside of the right leg. I'm going to give you a front view and then a back view. Keep your current orientation on the mat. Place the right hand on the inside of the right leg. Push with the back of your hand against the leg and float the left arm up to the ceiling. If you're working from the midway point, place your palm on the inside of the knee, pushing the knee away as you gently open up that top arm towards the ceiling. Keep opening up through the groin area, whether you're playing midway or all the way down on the mat. Then either stay here or take the right hand, rotate, tuck around, back view. Try and wrap that hand around your leg and float the left arm behind you, trying to give me a little bear grip behind the back. If you can't make a bear grip, maybe using a strap to help you make that bind. If you're playing from the midway point, maybe keep just pushing on the inside of the knee, float the left arm behind you and maybe just reach behind your back, rotating that hand in and reaching for the opposite hip bone. So just play where you're comfortable. Hold, hold, hold. Remember, we're working deep into the groin today. From your half-bound squat, we're going to find our way into a lizard line, still leading with the right leg in front. Unbind your hands, placing them on the floor, stepping the left leg back. Right leg is slightly, the foot on the right leg is slightly splayed out. Place your hands on the mat so that they're stacking underneath the shoulders and play with that little sway, almost coming onto the first 3 toes of the back leg and then pushing back into the heels so that you can feel that progressive opening happening through the groin area. Coming as low to the mat as you can. You're either going to stay here or you're going to knife edge your front foot and see if you can find your way down onto the elbows as you find Uttan Pristhasana, lizard. If this is too much for you, maybe reaching for your block, using that block in any dimension and finding a comfortable resting spot for your elbows or your forearms. So just play where you're comfortable. If working with the block is not for you, maybe just stay in position 1, but instead of grounding the right foot, try and knife edge so that you can feel that nice wrap around on the inside of your thighs, working a little bit more into the groin area. Hold your lizard line. Keep pulling the belly button softly in towards the center line. Maybe 5 more seconds here. Then we'll play up a variant or two of lizard. Creep your way back onto the palms and drop the back knee and foot to the floor. Try to keep your front leg knife-edged and stack your left hand underneath your left shoulder. Take a big breath in and float the right arm up to the ceiling. Softly throwing that right arm back as much as you can so that you can feel a little bit of work into the shoulders, a nice opening into the chest, and keep that front foot knife-edged so that you're feeling that work into the groins. Keep the belly button softly pulled in. Then we're going to change the stretch slightly, working in the opposite direction. Come back towards the center line and straighten up the front foot, grounding the whole leg into the mat. Place the right hand on the outside of the right foot and softly float the left arm up to the ceiling. Push softly down through your grounding hand. Think of that Hasta Bandha. Grip the mat with all 5 fingers pulling energy up through the arm. Keep that micro bend in the elbow that we talked about. And keep hugging the arms in towards the center line. Connect the left hand to the floor and bring the right hand to the inside of the right foot. Tuck the back toe under or keep the knee on the floor as you extend the leg behind you and drop it into a warrior 2 line, knife edging the back foot and floating the left arm up to the ceiling, giving me a soft T-frame through the arms. If dropping this low to the mat is not happening for you, maybe use your block in any dimension and find a lean-in position that feels comfortable for you, working maybe a little bit higher up off the ground. If the work into the groin is becoming too intense for you, kick back in child, take a time out if you need it. Dropping your pelvis even lower to the floor, see if you can bring the top arm closer towards your ear, almost as if you were trying to brush the ear with the top of your arm. Keep extending, maybe rotating and gently looking up towards the ceiling. Keep rooting through that back foot so that you're not leaning aggressively into the lead leg. Let's change the side angle slightly. Float up along the center line, peeling your torso up and bending the right elbow. Find a resting spot on the top of your thigh, but don't lean aggressively into the leg. Push back into the back thigh and float your top arm up to the ceiling. Keep lengthening through the top arm and keep pushing back softly into the back leg as you drop the pelvis nice and low to the floor. Stay or play. Float that top arm behind your back, rotating the palm in and reaching maybe for the inner thigh of that right leg. So creep your fingertips through and place them on the inside of your thigh. Hold. Now, keeping that position, see if you can drop the right hand to the inside of the right leg. Find that Hasta Bandha. Grip through the fingertips, send energy up through the palm of your hand into the whole arm. Keep your left hand on the inside of your right thigh and see if you can drop the back knee and foot to the floor. Hold this position, softly pushing with the inside of your right arm against the inside of the right leg, or find your way into a bind by gently tucking as much of the right elbow and arm through as you can, floating the left arm and making a little grip behind your bum. Either staying here and working this little preparatory phase for a bound side angle, or tucking the back toe under, coming back into your warrior 2-like position on the back leg, dropping as low as you can through the pelvis and rotating the head to look up to the ceiling. You're going to give me about 10 more seconds here if you can, and then you can go directly into child pose if you need a timeout, or bring it first into a deep squat. Unbind when you're ready. Step up the back leg, coming into a mid or a deep squat. Pushing with both elbows on the inside of the knees, you're going to feel a lot more open on the right groin and the right side of your body. Hopefully we'll even that out as we work side two. Drop your bum bones nice and low to the floor, lengthen through the spine, sandwiching those palms into prayer. We'll hang here for a few more seconds and then gently ease back into child and take a little time out. Remember that child pose balasana is your rest or recovery pose. If you're feeling really tight here, maybe play with the body weight back and forth between the right and the left leg, just finding the release through the groin that you need. When you're ready, place both hands on the floor. Come through a loose 4-point kneel, big toes together, knees open nice and wide. Arms either extended out in front of you or maybe bending the elbows, stacking the forearms and resting your forehead on the back of your hands, or wrapping the arms around the body as you connect your forehead to the mat. If you're feeling really tight through the groin, maybe give me a little wiggle and a release, almost swaying the body weight side to side and just finding that release through the groin that you need. Keep the belly button softly pulled in to the center line as you play. We're going to repeat that whole sequence on the left. Take 2 or 3 more breaths here, and then we'll ease our way to the front of the mat. Come through 4-point kneeling. Think of a soft down dog frame. Give me Svananda, blissful dog, giving me a little bit of rotation through the knees and the hips. And then walk your feet to the front of the mat. Feet stacking underneath your hips as you softly ragdoll roll up. Find a modified mountain, float the hands behind you. Interlacing if you can, giving me a little fist, squeezing the 2 shoulder blades together. Take a big breath in to prepare, and on the exhale, fold forward. Giving me a little tip over tuck. Make the crown of your head heavy to the floor. Modify your tip over tuck if you need to, using a block or finding a hand placement on the top of your thighs if you prefer. Try to really get a nice stretch through the hamstrings, even the calves. Maybe trying to rock the weight off your heels and more onto the forefront of your foot so that you can feel that back chain really opening up. Use your movement dynamically. Feel for those areas of tightness and work through them. Couple more breaths here, and then we're going to ease our way into a squat line, either playing midline or taking it low, low, low. Play where you're comfortable. Gently softening through the knees and peeling up. Heel toe out, either finding a midway squat, pushing with the palms on the inside of your knees or bringing it low to the floor. Use those elbows to push and open up through the groin area. Keep dropping those bum bones down to the floor and lengthening as much as you can through the crown of your head. Ready to play with that half bound squat. Take your left hand, placing it on the inside of the left leg, and float your right arm up to the ceiling, modifying the movement if you need to. Right hand on the inside of the knee and gently floating the arm up if you need to. Play where you're comfortable. Then maybe wrapping the arm around the leg, reaching your opposite arm over and finding a grip position behind your back, or just taking the arm behind, maybe reaching with the fingertips for the inside of your thigh, playing where you're comfortable. Keep opening up through the groin. Let's hang here for a few more seconds, and then we'll ease our way into a lizard line and open a little bit deeper. Unbind your hands, place them on the floor, and give me a step back with the right leg. Keep your front foot slightly splayed out at 45, and find a hand position on the mat so that the hands are stacking comfortably underneath the shoulders. Gently play with the weight bearing in that back foot. Rocking onto the toes and then back into the heel. Feeling for those tight areas in the groin and trying to open up every time you play. Stay here or knife edge the front foot and ease your way down onto the elbows. Using the block if you need to and finding a resting spot maybe for the forearms or keeping it on your palms if you prefer. Keep the belly button softly pulled into the center line. Give me a few more breaths here and then we'll drop the back leg and open up a little bit into a twist. Ease your way back onto the palms. Relax the back knee, relax the back foot. Try to knife edge your front foot. Keep your right hand stacking underneath your right shoulder and gently open up into a beautiful open twist. Maybe throwing that top arm gently back and feel the work through the shoulders. Open up through the chest. Feel that beautiful opening up into the groin on the right and the left. Let's change it up slightly. Bring that left foot in. Place the left hand on the outside of the left leg and slowly rotate your torso in the opposite direction. Just keeping that back leg soft and relaxed and finding as much opening as you can. Keep opening up gently through the groin. Stay here for a few more breaths and then we'll open up into our first side angle. Reconnect your right hand to the mat and bring your left hand to the inside of the left foot. Keeping that foot or keeping the toes looking towards the front of your mat on that lead leg. Find a warrior two-like position on the back leg and float your top arm up to the ceiling. Think of a soft T-frame through the arms and drop both of your pelvic bones nice and low to the floor. Then bring it into an extended side angle by bringing that top arm closer towards your ear line. Keep lengthening through that top arm so that you can feel the work through the hips, through the ribs, through the meridian of your arm. Hold that line for me for a few more breaths. And then bring that top arm back up. Tuck it behind your back as you float the top arm up and rest your elbow on that lead leg. Either keeping the arm floating above or tucking the arm behind you, reaching with your fingertips for the inside of the left thigh. Keep pushing softly into the back leg so that you're grounding through the back leg and not leaning aggressively into your lead leg. Stay here or drop your left arm to the inside of the left leg and keep that bind with your right hand on the inside of your left thigh. Keep dropping your bum bones as low to the floor as you can. Stay or relax the back knee and foot. Tuck your tuck your left elbow and arm through, binding behind the back if you can. Dropping through the pelvis as you find the bind behind your back, maybe giving me a bear grip or reaching for your wrist line if you prefer. Find what works for you. And then come back into your side angle by extending the back leg and finding a warrior two-like position on the back leg. Gently rotate through your head and look gently up towards the ceiling. Hold for a few more seconds here. Then kick back into child or find your way into a deep squat. Unbind, step up the back leg. Find the squat line that works for you, either stopping at a midway point or coming all the way down. Use those elbows. Push, open up through the knees. Feel that beautiful opening through the groin. Remember, it might feel really tight into the groin area today, but tomorrow the whole pelvic area will feel beautiful with that beautiful rush of blood that you're introducing today. Alrighty, let's ease our way into child pose, Balasana. Find your way through 4-point kneeling. Ease into it gently. Find the arm line that's working for you, either extended, maybe stacked, or wrapped around the body. If you're feeling tight, give me a little sideways wiggle side to side, finding the release that you need through the groin. From here, we're going to gently change our orientation on the mat and find a butterfly line. Maybe tucking in and easing your way into Baddha Konasana, butterfly. Soles of the feet together. Maybe placing the hands on the floor behind you and just bringing the groin and the feet closer together along the midline of the body. Finding your wrap around the feet. Maybe fluttering the knees up and down just to open up softly through the groin. And then when you're ready, finding a bind around the ankles, allowing those elbows to float wide, opening up a little bit more through the groin as you gently fold forward. From here, we're going to ease our way into easy sit, Sukhasana. Gently peel up along the center line and tuck the left heel in as close to the perineum as you can, stacking the right leg in front. Sitting up nice and tall, you're going to gently place your fingertips on the mat and creep the hands away from you, trying to connect your forearms to the mat as you lean forward. If you found your position on the mat, maybe gently pushing through the forearms. Nod your crown down and then think of dragging your bum bones back so that you can really feel that wrap into the back of the right leg. If connecting to the floor is not an option for you, use your block. Find the dimension that you need. Find a resting spot for your arms, maybe stacking the forearms and just gently leaning in. Hold that stretch, actively pushing through the forearms if you can. Make the crown of your head as heavy as you can and actively push your hips and your bum bones back. Feel that wrap around into the back of the groin area on the right leg. Peel up along the center line. Float the right fingertips to the floor behind you, giving me a soft grip through your fingertips. Cross the left hand over and place or push with your palm on the inside of your thigh as you gently rotate to look over the right shoulder. Giving me as much length through the spine as you can, and then get a sense of where you're holding your weight. So even though you're pushing with the inside of the left hand on that inner thigh of the right leg, try to even out your weight on both bum bones and give me a nice lengthened spine. Inhale and find your way gently back to the center line, working your twist in the opposite direction. So left hand, or rather right hand, to the inside of the left leg. Push that whole left leg softly towards the floor as you find the opening through that back shoulder. Find your Hasta Bandha on that back hand, so don't lean aggressively into the wrist line. Think of gripping through the fingertips, pulling the energy up through the arm and keeping a small micro bend in the elbow. Find your way back towards the center line and ease back into your butterfly. Holding onto the feet and fluttering the knees up and down to just find your release. Then once you've found it, hold your butterfly line, either keeping hold of the feet or maybe sliding your hands up to wrap around the ankles, bending through the elbows so that you can push down through the elbows and forearms, getting more of an opening through the groin, and just gently fold the head forward and find the release that's working for you. Keep the belly button softly pulled in along the center line as you find your release. We're going to tuck into Sukhasana, leading with the left leg in front. Peel up along the center, tucking the right leg in first, left leg stacks in front. Connect your fingertips to the mat or reach for your block. If you're using the modification, try and creep your weight forward onto the forearms. If you've connected the forearms, push through the palms, push through the elbows, sink your bum bones back, and then nod the crown down. If you're modifying on the block, try to find the same release. Softly connecting your forearms, finding your hang here, modifying if you need to, but still pushing the weight back. So gently pushing down or bearing down through your forearms, and pretend somebody's standing behind you, grabbing hold of your hips and pulling your hips back so that you can feel that wrap around into the back of the left hamstring, feeding in to the groin area. Peel gently up along the center line. Take a big breath in and float the left fingertips behind you as you cross over the midline of the body. Push with the right palm on the inside of the left thigh. Try to drop down through that thigh on the left so that you can feel that work into the groin. Find that hasta bandha on that back arm. Come back towards the center line and take your twist in the opposite direction, pushing down with the left palm on the inside of the right thigh. Ease your way back to the center line, coming back into butterfly, but we're going to change it up slightly. As you find your butterfly line, make sure that you're not on the edge of the mat, that you've got enough mat for your tailbone. You're going to wrap your hands, or wrap one hand around both sets of feet and then overlay the other hand on. Then think of finding a little boat line. So you're going to tip the weight off your bum bones, keeping both hands wrapped, and drop the shoulders down so that you can feel an awesome opening through the upper back and shoulders. As you weight the arms down, try and bring the heels in as close to your perineum as you can and open up even more through the knees. Keeping the weight just off your tailbone, so you're almost in a hybrid, marrying a butterfly with a soft boat line. Alrighty, you're going to find your way back either into easy sitting on the first side with the right leg in front, or you're going to grab the top leg and tuck it into a half lotus line, bringing your heel bone as close to the inside of your hip bone on the left as you can, and just allowing the foot to rest on the left thigh. Take a big breath in to prepare, and on the exhale, float the right fingertips behind you, left palm to the inside of the right thigh, push the right thigh away as you come into a gentle twist. Check that you're not leaning aggressively into one bum bone. Bum bones are equally weighted, but you're softly pushing down through that left arm to open up a little bit more through the groin area on the right. Take a big breath in and find your way back to the center line. On an exhale, connect your fingertips to the mat. You're going to fold it forward using the block if you need to. Creep your hands forward. See if you can connect the forearms to the mat. As you make the crown heavy, push back through your bum bones. You're going to feel quite an aggressive opening on the right groin area. Play where you're comfortable. Keep your belly button softly pulled in the whole time. Keep gently pushing through the forearms and sinking your bum bones back. Visualize somebody gently pulling your hip line back. Peel up along the center line. As you unbind your legs, tip the weight off your tailbone, coming into a soft boat-like position, and just holding onto the shins as you release your ankles. Either stay here holding a mini boat, or give me a big toe lock around each big toe. Open up the legs into as big a V-line as you can so that you can feel that opening through the groin. If connecting to the toes is not an option, maybe just bending the elbows, finding a nice resting spot around your wrists for your legs. Let's tuck into a half lotus line on the left. Tucking that foot up, sitting up nice and tall. As you find your half lotus line, take a big breath in to prepare, and on the exhale, give me a gentle twist in the opposite direction. So gently twisting to the left, taking your right palm to the inside of the left thigh, and gently pushing that thigh away. Check the weight on your bum bones, nice and equal. Ease your way back to the center line. Take a big breath in and find the forward fold using your block if you need it. Connect your fingertips to the mat. Gently creep the fingers away and ease your way onto the forearms. Push softly down through the palms and the forearms. Lean your weight back. Somebody's drawing your hips back. Pull the belly button in and nod your crown down towards the floor. Peel up along the center line, and as you unbind, find your soft boat line. Just make sure you're still on the mat and that you haven't tipped off. Release your ankle line first, and then find your toe grip and open up into a soft V line, or just maybe bending through the elbows, holding that soft boat line and playing where you're comfortable. From here, we're going to find our way into a wide-legged seated straddle, Upavista Konasana, before we wrap up. So opening up the legs on the mat into as wide a V as is comfortable for you. Make sure that you're giving me a soft tilt of your pelvis down to the 6 o'clock position and sitting up as tall as you can with a soft brace into your heels. Try and relax the back chain of your legs. Connect your fingertips to the mat and then softly creep your hands forward, trying to bring your chest as close to the floor as you can. And there are a couple of play options here. Maybe just easing your way onto the elbows or using your block and finding a lean-in position that's working for you. If you're feeling nice and open through the groin and you've got the range of motion, maybe think of either just extending the arms on the mat in front of you, trying to connect your chest to the mat, or maybe sliding your hands down the thighs, reaching for your big toes as you bring chest to floor. If you're coming all the way down, maybe rotating onto one cheek so that you don't bruise your nose and chin. Finding a resting spot, you could even just place the hands gently, palm down on the floor. Find the release that works for you, but keep extending through the legs. Give me a few more breaths here, then we'll gently take it to the side. Peel gently up along the center line and give me a slight pivot to the right so that you're facing the right toes. Take a big breath in, creeping the hands forward, trying to wrap around the foot and thinking chest to knee as you fold forward. If that's not happening for you, maybe placing the block on the inside of your leg in any dimension and finding a gentle lean-in position that works for you. You could even reach for a strap if you've got one at hand and maybe place it around your foot and find as much chest to knee release as you can. Play where you're comfortable. Hold it there for me. Let's give it at least another 5 seconds if you can. Peel softly up along the midline of the body and find your way back to the middle. Finding the release that works for you, either extending, coming onto the elbows, using your block, reaching for your toes, or just sliding the hands open and rotating your head in the opposite direction as you think chest to floor. Find your release. Give me a soft brace into your feet. Keep pulling the belly button softly in and feel that beautiful opening through the groin. Ease your way back up along the center line and set up your little left side. So little pivot and rotate to the left. Creep your fingertips along the floor. Maybe reaching for the undercarriage of your foot and thinking chest to knee or nose to knee as you fold forward. Use your strap or your hand towel around the foot if you need to. Maybe the block on the inside of the leg. Play where you're comfortable. Gently peel up along the center line and find your way back to the middle one last time. If you're feeling really tight through the groin, give me a little wiggle and release before you take your last forward fold. Just playing where you're comfortable on the mat. Find that release, maybe using the block if you need to, and just finding a beautiful little forward fold release. Bracing through those heels, finding that inner thigh connection, making sure that you're pulling it through all the way into the groin, wiggling around and finding the release that works for you. Give it a few more breaths here. And then you're gently going to ease your way either onto your block or elbows on the floor and bring your hands to prayer in front of your heart. Think of gently nodding your nose towards your hand to end of your practice. Namaste to you all. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with me today. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this class. Shoot me your comments in the comments box below and make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with your notification bell on. I shall see you all for playtime on the mat tomorrow, and we are going to be working with the large Swiss ball, doing a little stability series tomorrow. If you don't have a large Swiss ball at your disposal, no worries. I will give you a freestyle option that you can play with. Until then, keep it light.